Now, when we're reading Platonic literature, while you can look at this in a variety of ways, the best way is to recognize that there's a great precision in the language. Right? That's what we want. There's a great precision in the language. It's not meant for an effect. It's very, very precise. So we have to match what he's doing with our own understanding to see that behind this language there's a great deal of very careful thought brought together succinctly, expressed with great economy, and yet there's an artistic side to it because this itself is a creative process, and therefore Plato's Timaeus is a creative process coming out of the mind of Plato, and therefore this is a cosmology for which we can then get an insight into the mind of Plato. Same reasoning. So what is it we want to focus on? Well, first we want to know why this is here. Why call it beautiful? In what way it binds? It must not just unite, but why perfectly? Right? And it binds it together most perfectly into a one. We must see this oneness in it. And what must it do? Both itself and the things to which it relates. Therefore, whatever the binding is must also bind itself. And the only thing that will do this, the thing that most effectively does this, in the most, again, beautiful manner, is the natural property of analogy. All right, now we're going to go back to this. All right, this is an IOU. We have to see if we can make sense of this. Now, let me see then if we can do this. I think we can do the whole thing by just reading, though we could go through the whole Timaeus and see how it operates on many levels. We can take a look at one page and find the basic characters and characteristics of the nature of God in the process of creation in one. I think it's just one page. That's all we need. Good. How about reading for us? Will you? Thank you very much. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. I think it's 29C. Okay. Yeah, all right. What page are you on? That's a good page. But turn the page to 55, please. Okay, that's a 29E. Okay, now, all we're going to do is as he reads, we're going to pick up the description of the Demiurgos as he goes through the process of creation. We're going to collect those terms, we're going to pull them together, and then we're going to go back into analogy and pull it together. That's where we're going, and then make a general statement about some interesting things. All right, how about it? Timaeus starts.
Let us now state the cause wherefore he that constructed is constructed becoming and the all.
See, this is the supreme principle of all creation. Go ahead.
He was good, and in him that is good no envy ariseth ever concerning anything. And being devoid of envy, he desired that all should be, so far as possible, like unto himself.
See, what does he have? Desire. He's good, no envy within him. He has the property of desire. What is it that he desires? That all should be like himself. That's the model. Therefore, he reflects upon himself as the model for creation. Go ahead.
This principle, then, we shall be wholly right in accepting from men of wisdom as being above all the supreme originating principle of becoming and the cosmos.
Okay. See,
above
when he
all.
does this, therefore, it's the supreme principle of creation as becoming. And he adds something to that, and the all, and that's what we want to look at, because something else comes into creation as a result of this, and in typical Platonic manner, this is obvious, this is the great gift. So, right, with two levels. What are we going to do? We're going to look at the process of becoming, and we're going to get something better, and he always adds something. When he adds something, keep your mind on that and collect those together. All right, go ahead.
For God desired that, so far as possible, all things should be good and nothing evil. Wherefore, when he took over all that was visible, seeing that it was not in a state of rest, but in a state of discordant and disorderly motion, he brought it into order out of disorder.
Took over disorder, brought order. Now we want to see how he does that.
Deeming that the former state is in all ways better than the latter.
Right. Deems. Now what's he doing? Right, here he's desiring deeming. Deeming is considering, judging.
For him who is most good, it neither was nor is impermissible to perform any action save what is most fair.
This translator always is reluctant to use the word beautiful in very key places, so he uses the word fair, but it's kalos, right? So it's most beautiful. Okay, go ahead.
As he reflected, therefore, he perceived that of such creatures as are by nature visible, none that is irrational will be fairer, comparing wholes with wholes, than the rational.
Look, see. He desires something, takes something over, he judges it, makes a value judgment, this is better than that. All right, what is he interested in bringing about something that is beautiful? Because if he is good, there's nothing, every one of his acts is going to be beautiful. And we want to see the connection between these two in a short while. Right? He reflects, he compares, this is what he's going through in the process of creation. Go ahead.
And further, that reason cannot possibly belong to any apart from soul.
So look here. He sees the necessary connection between reason and soul. And since that is, right, that's necessary, it's fundamental. This is a fundamental principle. That is to say, you can't have intelligence floating around independent of something which possesses it, and that's soul. So he said, given that, we're now going to do something very creative.
So because of this reflection,
I'll shut up, go ahead. Because of this reflection.
He constructed reason within soul, and soul within body, as he fashioned the all.
Right. Hey, to get the all then, we have reason, body, soul. And soul is that which brings it all together. Go ahead.
That so the work he was executing might be of its nature most beautiful and most good.
Right? It has to be most beautiful and good. Since there's no envy in him, he doesn't mind creating anything like himself. He's not jealous of his creation.
Thus then, in accordance with the likely account, we must declare that this cosmos has verily come into existence as a living creature endowed with soul and reason, owing to the providence of God.
Right. This whole thing. Now, this is a very key word, of course, providence. Right? And we'll return to it in a minute. Go ahead.
This being established, we must declare